Do 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 do. Okay, fuck that. I'm gonna fuck that one up. I'm gonna just keep going.
All right.
Predators.
I'm Nick, folks.
And I'm Dan. Do, 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 do. Okay, Predators. There you go.
Hey, that's much nicer.
Yeah.
Cleaner.
So, brainwashing?
Ooh.
Let's talk about a little bit of brainwashing. We can talk about music first, since that song was very popular. And people tend to like
back in
things,
the heyday.
Yeah. Rhythm. Mm-hmm. Back.
Yeah.
How many months ago plus
Years
this release
ago?
date? Who knows? Yeah, but it was huge. Like, there's music, there's stuff that catches your eye, that's stuff that attracts you to it without reason. You probably don't even really listen to the lyrics of most songs. It just has a rhythm that you kind of like flow into and you follow.
Yeah, sure.
And you may not realize that it's sneaking in your brain. It's getting stuck there.
Yeah.
So you can recall it later.
An earworm, is it called? In music? Yeah, it is,
Earworm.
actually.
A little hook.
Actually, yeah. It's actually, I watched a lot of videos and scientific things on them. It's like a real thing. Your brain really craves a certain pattern that's not too easy, but isn't too hard. It's pretty like in between.
4 chords that made $1 million? Is that?
There are 4 chords that literally have made well over $1 million. There's like, if you can find like 50% of like popular average rock songs that are all based on these 4 chords.
They're all the same.
They just play them at different time signatures with different lyrics over them, different drums, et cetera, et cetera. But it's 4 chords that really make like most music. It's wild.
Do you feel like once you've listened to those 4 chords that it's very hard to like break out of doing something different? That like the uniqueness is lost because you keep repeating the same thing that you've heard before?
Maybe, but I don't know if that's intentional, and I don't know that it's because you're in the middle of it, and I also don't know that because naturally it does sound good. It's not like it's a bad thing that someone made and everyone's like, oh, well, let's just copy it because it's cool. It literally sounds nice. It has a good resolution to it. There's a build. It's not perfect symmetry, so I think it leaves the ear like I mentioned how something isn't perfect. It has to have an imperfection. It has to be easy enough to understand, but difficult enough to keep your brain gnawing on it. And that's kind of anything that gets at you, sticks in you, you know?
So I think what you said there is that you have something inherent that you need, and this gives it to you. So you're talking about music, but actually all of that applies to religion.
Did I almost?
Yeah,
you almost
segue
you right there. That's
slide
amazing.
right in. So, yeah, early on when I was younger, my mom's family is very religious. They're very like intolerant. I'll start off with that.
Yeah, I can see that.
And they try, like, I remember, like, even when I was like 10 or 11, like they would try to. Well, I went to Catholic school for grade school and high school, and they would even like try to like.
I think you went to private school for high school.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they tried to. I think I chose that, but they guilted you into like going and believing like all they believe, even though they're a la carte Christians or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, everyone is. They're like, you should follow this religion to the T, except what I don't follow. And it's like, what don't you follow? So, well, it depends what happens in my life, and I'm going to choose depending on whatever suits me at the time.
I'm a big drinker. I cheat on your mother. Oftentimes, I'll take God's name in vain, and I'm a gambler, big old gambler. Yeah. Other than that, to a T.
Yeah, perfect. I'm going to heaven.
To a T.
No problem. So I remember going to school and having teachers that would, like, there's one about, like, there's a Bible story about how, I don't know if this is actually a Bible story. One of my teachers believed that dinosaur bones weren't real, that they were placed there by God.
Not in the Bible at all. That's awesome. That's literally my favorite comic. Or it's like that is the coolest.
Test your faith. Yeah.
Test of faith. It's like why did dinosaurs discover bones? God put them there to make them look incredibly old to test our faith.
Yeah, don't doubt him. It's like, doubt who?
Holy
he doesn't
smokes.
exist. I don't know who you're talking about.
Listen, and people can believe whatever they want. I have no problem.
Yeah.
But that dinosaur one is like total cop out.
Yeah, it's the ultimate brainwash because it's so like, oh, scientific fact, and it's like, no, this isn't.
Oh, God put that there to mess with the scientists.
Yeah. Let's spin the spin the science.
That's incredibly spinny. That's the biggest spin.
There's even like crazy, like the same teacher was adamant about everything religious. She even said like there's a Bible story about how they overtook a city, like one of the armies was marching. Instead of attacking it, they just walked around the city for like days. They circled the city repeatedly.
I believe this is Jericho and David, and he had some kind of a weapon that he didn't want to use, the Ark of God or something like that.
Ark of the Covenant,
and they marched around something. It might have been the Ark of the Covenant. Anyway, they marched around the city several times, and then eventually the people gave up, or the walls caved in, or something magic happened. But yeah, sweet. It really happened. They actually
attacked them and murdered them, and then it's like Bible story. So like you get these stories, and I'm kind of surprised that we teach our kids, like we attempt to teach our kids like those stories when we're young, because I was told that when I was like very little, and it's kind of bizarre that like the morals are good. Like you can take the morals out of the brainwashing and be like, okay, that's fine. He's learning how to be a good person, but that's okay. But like there's elements to it that it seems like these people believe like wholeheartedly, like that happened. That's a historical fact. It's like the book was written 2,000 years ago, and it was about events that probably never, maybe a bit of truth, but never probably happened.
It's funny because I'm going to take the opposite side than you. Mm-hmm. I actually don't have a problem with people who kind of I think they overly believe in it and all that. I myself was raised Catholic school, Catholic high school, Catholic everything. Went to church just about every Sunday. I was a lecturer. I used to read. Yeah, I'm an excellent orator.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm glad you know this.
Loquacious.
Yes. So I don't really have a problem with the people and wanting to believe it and telling the stories and everything else, because I don't think it's that different than like saying you love the Star Wars stories and you friggin' love them. They're made up and like someone will tell you. But in 100 years from now, 500 years from now, if there weren't written records and these stories were passed on and on, eventually you get some people who are so feverishly into it that they would claw your eyes out if you said the name of the wrong inhabitants of the wrong planet, or were friends with the Tatooine or friends with this, and they'd be like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
One thing on Tatooine?
Oh my God, do you not know about the Resistance? And people are screaming about it. And you get people who would be so immersed in it that they raise their kids to know all the facts. Like you guys would have little cool sayings. Maybe you'd attend yearly events where you worship these people, you talk about these people. Eventually it just gets so out of hand that, I mean, yeah, it's stupid. But the story itself, I think some of them are really cool. There's some of the cooler, well-written prose of the time. It wasn't even written by like one guy. These are just all the old stories. So I don't really have a problem with the stories themselves, even the teachings. I think some of the teachings might be good or whatever. It's that people go too far, I would say.
Yeah, they try to be strict about it. So this is where I kind of rebelled when I was little, is that my mom had forced me to go to church, and I didn't like going to church because I didn't find it relevant. So there were moments where she would say like, time to go. And like, she'd be like a prison warden. And I would like bust out the back door and like sprint into the woods like a wild child. And she gets so mad and so angry. And even to this day, she's still like very like upset that I would like split off from the religion. So much so that like I get it from my other relatives. Like my aunts will say like, I can't believe that you did that to your mother. I was like, I'm 34. What the hell are you talking about? Like, how could you possibly like blame me for something that like you still believe and you're telling an adult? I digress.
I think it's because their lives, the personalities, the very life traits are tied to it.
It's contingent on the belief system that doesn't have any backing.
Mean, if they turn around and say, you know what, it is silly, I think I'm going to drop this. That's like saying, I wasted 58 years, 69 years. I guess I'm whatever. I'll start over. I'm fresh.
Yeah.
They can't. It's almost like they're too deep into it. And for you to turn your back, it's like, I wanted you to waste your life, but to be with me almost. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I guess in their eyes, they're thinking it's not bad to believe in God and all this. So just do it. Get over here. You have to come with me. And they want you with them. So I guess in their eyes, you're kind of deserting, but I don't want to either. I'm not going to.
Do you think it's possible to brainwash? So like when you're talking, my brain flashed like Clockwork Orange when they like tape his eyes open and they try to teach him humanity. Like, how do you like, is that possible?
They make him sick, like Pavlov's dog type thing. Like every time he sees a certain thing, they make him sick or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would imagine it's possible if you do it enough. I mean, only because habits can be broken, habits can be formed. It's almost like a habit of morals, right?
Yeah. So how do you beat brainwashing?
I think you have to be able to beat yourself, which I don't know is super possible. I beat myself daily.
So, yeah. So you have to have your own privacy, I think is what you were saying.
Oh, I literally didn't mean to, but it ties in perfectly. Yes, you have to have your own private time where you can not be watched by the guards or the brainwashers or the people who want you to do a certain thing. You have to have time where you can just friggin' religion's all about not punching chickens. You got to have a room where you can just go in a room, lock the door, and punch some chickens. You know what I mean?
See the feathers flying and like the Link Zelda like connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's getting away from those people and allowing yourself time to think about it and free time and getting some separation. Yeah.
Think for yourself. It's funny that, I guess, what was this episode technically about? Brainwashing. So not necessarily religion, but religion's the biggest one.
Yeah.
Are there any other ones out there, really? I think like even cliques and groups. Like if you're emo and you hang out with emo people, like do you think they want you not going emo all of a sudden?
Style and taboos.
Where's your
lifestyle?
Where's your earring? Get your earring.
What are you doing?
Get your earring. You're making us look stupid. Get your black boots.
It's like Mean Girls.
Yeah. Gretchen, you can't wear sweatpants. It's not Thursday. I think you run into it everywhere. And I think to a degree we want to conform with people we like. I think we want to do things that they want to do. It's just when does it become so much that it's like, damn, you killed all your relatives? Now I got to kill all my relatives? This is like a cult all of a sudden. Like, you know what I mean?
Knife.
Hand me the knife. Okay, we're going to chop off our nuts and then drink this special soda and stare up at the asteroid. Okay.
We didn't talk about
it. Just
cults.
feels like I know. They're the ultimate. They are the ultimate brainwashing. Like literally, they're brainwashing done feverishly, high-pitched, extreme, just boom, resulting in you killing yourself. Or killing someone, usually. I guess not always. There are sex cults that...
Yeah, there's sex cults.
You don't
there's
have
like,
to kill.
You know, labor camp cults. They're just like...
Yeah.
Join the movement so that you can build a city for us. Like...
But they never want you to leave. Like, no cult ever wants you to leave. No group ever wants you to leave. Because I guess you only become less powerful that way. And you don't want to give up your power. Yeah,
I think there's a way that they try to manipulate you so that you're useful to them. And I think that's the way that most brainwashing works, is that you're trying...
Well, that's business.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you're... I'm being serious.
Work for us for 40 years because we're going to give you minimum wage.
I mean, even the church, dude, they want your services. They want you to be a lecturer. They want you to be a minister. They want donations. They want you to show up to all the potlucks. They have programs that they feed off of one another. So it is all feeding into itself. And that, I guess, is part of the brainwashing. You're you're turning off the outside world, whether it's the outside religions, outside this. You're only spending time in certain groups with certain people.
Yeah, promoting it.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing people in. Tithing.
Mm-hmm.
Growing the pyramid.
What is tithing? 5% or 10% of your income?
I've heard a lot of people, like, I've heard people actually tithe like 10 grand, like 20 grand when they don't make.
Well, I mean, it's supposed to be a percentage of the income you make. So
it's sizable. I think 10 or 20%.
It is. 20% would be that's ridiculous.
Yeah, no.
You give 20% to religion? Okay.
No, I couldn't afford that. How the hell?
No, I couldn't.
Well, I could afford it, but I just won't.
Yeah. So let's kind of wrap up brainwashing. How to spot it? Like, what would you do to stop it?
I don't know.
Do you know if you're being brainwashed?
You need to get away from those people and take your time.
There's a porcupine tree waiting phase 2 quote that I will never forget. The brainwashed do not know that they are brainwashed.
Precisely. You got to get them out of that circle. Break the cycle. Break the habit.
You got to grab them by their shirt collar and make them do acid away from their boss.
I'm gonna blind submit this wreck, whatever you call it.
Yeah, order. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But brainwashing, dude. It happens in small forms and large forms. In friendly ways and non-friendly ways.
Yeah. You gotta...
Do you know, I have Jehovah's Witness that come to my door every 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same guys.
Uh-huh.
No, they talk to me. They know my name. They write it down. They give me the awake camp.
Well, that's the creepiest part is that they have notes on you. They don't know you
They
personally.
do.
They just like open up a book and they're like, "Oh, is Nick here?" And they'll be staring straight at you, and you'd be like,
"How's your son? Are you the son?" I'm both the father and the son.
Oh, holy!
Yeah, they just start saying holy things. So yeah, I love those guys.
Yeah.
And they could never win me over, but I'm very nice to them. I'm polite. I give them like 5 minutes, and I'm like, "Sorry, guys, I gotta go."
Yeah, I gotta go.
Do you think at a certain age you can't be brainwashed?
25.
I'm sorry.
You're probably 25. You're like,
you're done. I'm too old.
Yeah.
So avoid them at all costs. Don't get brainwashed. Right?
Yeah.
Is that your advice?
Yeah, I think so. And make your own time. Think your own thoughts. Dream your own dreams. Pursue a life. Live.
Listen to us. Donate to our Patreon. We will tell you so many
Keep
good
listening
things
to the next
how
episode.
to make your life better. Just keep donating and keep clicking our links. And do not watch any other videos. Join us.
Predators.
Predators.